Amos Fortune was an African American who spent his whole life saving to buy his freedom and the freedom of others. He was born as Atman, a prince in Africa, but at age 15 he was taken to America by slave traders. He had a younger sister, Athman, who he left behind. She was crippled from birth, so the slave traders didn't want her. Atman missed her very much, and after he was sold to Caleb Copeland, who changed his name to Amos, he waited by the wharf whenever he could, while hunting to buy her. He had been saving money ever since he came to America. Mr. Copeland treated Amos well, so Amos's friends started to call him Mr. Fortunatus because of his good fortune and masters. Mr. Copeland asked Amos, "Do you want your freedom yet?" "Oh no, not yet," Amos would always reply. He understood how important freedom was and wanted to be ready for it. Because he waited so long, Mr. Copeland died before he could free Amos. The other Copelands were sad to see him go, but Amos had to be sold. At this point, Amos could have used the money he'd been saving to buy his own freedom. Instead, he saved for Athman. He was sold to Ichabod Richardson, a man who taught him to be a tanner, someone who prepares animal hides for things like clothes. Mr. Richardson died, and in his will he left a notice saying that Amos would be freed if he paid Mrs. Richardson a certain amount of money. Amos did so, and when he was 60 years old, he finally had his freedom back. He had been enslaved for 45 years. During that time, Athman hadn't come. Amos realized that he had grown older and that Athman had too, and that if she was still alive, she wouldn't be taken to America. So, instead, he decided to free a different slave. He had fallen in love with Lily a few years before, and now he paid her master so he could marry her. They lived happily together for about a year, but then Lily died. Amos was sad, but was comforted that she had died free. He bought Lydia, a lame girl who also died a year after their marriage. Still determined to free more slaves, Amos saved up for a woman named Violet and her young daughter Celindia. She was stronger than he was and ended up outliving him by about a year. The new family moved to Jaffrey, New Jersey, where they lived happily for many years. Amos worked hard until he was about 90 years old to work for his family and the poor people in his neighborhood. He donated money to churches and schools and became an honored citizen in the community. On his gravestone it says, "Sacred to the memory of Amos Fortune, born free in Africa, a slave in America, lived reputably, professed Christianity, and died hopefully."